Welcome to the channel. I'm Tony the Technician. Today we're going to be going into the Amazon tool deals for the week. These are either going to be items that are on sale, items that even at their full price or list price I believe to be good deals, or items I find interesting and would like your guys' input on if you guys have used them. All of the items that we go over today will be linked down in the description for you guys if you guys are interested. And then there are two additional links that say tools and tools continued. That's going to take you to a long list of tools that I've went over in the past. So that's all there for you guys. First up, we're looking at a Gearwrench product. And I have the bolt biter, but not this setup. I came across these a couple weeks ago and I figured I'd mention them. They do seem to be going on sale pretty often. They're kind of up and down. Right now you see price in cart. Right now the price is okay. I personally have the bolt biter sockets. These are a little bit different. These are wrench inserts, so I find that kind of interesting. I can definitely see where this is handy in tight spaces, low profile kind of situations. This could be absolutely fantastic. And sometimes you can just get a wrench in somewhere a little bit better than you can a ratchet and socket. So I can definitely see where this would be handy. It does require a few different wrenches depending on the size of bolt biter insert that you use. Overall, I think it's a great set. I really enjoy my bolt biter sockets. They've saved me a few times. A few things about them. I like how versatile they are in being able to be used with a ratchet, a pair of pliers like the pliers wrench. You can use a wrench on them, impact. There are a lot of different ways you can use them, and they work both forward and reverse. They bite into the fastener both directions, so that's really nice. The other thing that's really nice is they have minus sizes. So let's say you have a 19 millimeter fastener, you have a 19 millimeter bolt biter, and let's say it doesn't bite into it quite enough because that fastener that you're working with has been rounded off so much, or maybe it's been corroded and it's not the same size anymore. You can use minus sizes and get you a little bit closer, and that gets a much better bite on that fastener. So that's the things that I really like about the bolt biters. I've had them for maybe 2 years now, and they've done a very good job. Not something that I use all the time, but definitely just a bolt extractor set have on hand. I had the Irwin ones at first, and it only came with like 5 or 6, so it was very limited. But I have a large bolt biter set, and it's definitely came in handy, and I like how much more versatile it is than the Irwin set that I had before. But this is something I found interesting. I only saw these a few weeks ago. I don't know how long they've actually been out. I know Gearwrench started putting together big EVA foam sets quite a while ago, but recently, probably within the last year, they started doing EVA foam sets of their bolt biter stuff. And I actually saw this in one of those EVA foam trays. They had a bunch of different varieties of their bolt biters. I didn't know they had anything outside of just the standard sockets. So this is the 30-piece set. They do have 5-piece sets like here, and then the 5-piece SAE, and then they have like a 16-piece, and then they do have other size sets outside of this as well. These are just the 4 that are linked to this one, and then the bigger 30-piece. I think the 5-piece sets are $22 right now. The 16-piece set is like $65 or $66, and then 30-piece is like $120. So not exactly cheap for sure. They are nice, and I do like the idea behind them, but I would definitely, even though this is technically a sale, I did see them a few weeks ago at a much better price. So just keep that in mind. The prices will go down. This is not necessarily this design I'm saying I would recommend, but just the bolt biter in general. It's been very good for me, just the standard sockets. But if this is something you might think you get more use out of than a standard socket, I did find this to be interesting, and that's why I'm mentioning it. They are 6-point, and then you can see a magnet there as well, so it's going to hold it in the wrench from falling out, so that's kind of nice. Same design as the standard sockets that I have that are bolt biter. They work in both directions. There you can kind of see the internal design. There you've already seen the little bifolding organizer that it comes in. Very well laid out. You definitely get a great variety. And I'm not going to lie, those minus sizes really do help. And having both metric and SAE is really handy as well, because sometimes it will fall between. You could drop this in a socket as well. Not a whole lot of information on it. So they were first released or available in 2023. But here's the actual design that I have. This is the 1/4 inch set, and it goes from 1/4 inch up to 19 or 3/4. But the one that we were originally looking at has 4.4 stars at 43 ratings, and this one being around $120. So I don't think they're worth it at full price, but if you can catch them on sale, I definitely think it's a good one to consider if you're looking at a bolt extractor set. Next up is a brand that I had never heard of before. They have a few different tools available now. This is called Fireball Tool, and they have this in both metric and SAE. Both sets are $10 each. They are made in the USA, so that's why I figured I'd mention them. Not bad price. You got ball Allen on one end and then just your standard Allen on the other. I actually came to find them because I saw, I don't know if it was a video or an ad or something, I came across these holders that you can put them in, and they just released some anodized aluminum ones. These are just their plastic ones, but I really liked the organizer. I had never seen anything like it before, so I started looking into them and found that they actually sold the Allen keys as well. So here you can see date first available was January 2024. They are made in the USA. I thought it was a pretty impressive little set for the price, especially being made in the USA. So no, they're not as cheap as your $2 or $3 little hex key set, but they're a little bit better quality stuff, made in the USA, and you can also get some pretty nice organizers with them. Now the only thing is, the only one I could find on Amazon was their plastic design. I think it's because their bill aluminum ones are really new or just released, so I don't think they've quite made it. But they're $12.50, down from a list price of $14. Not a whole lot of ratings. Like I said, they are a brand new company, and I find these organizers really interesting. So there you can see how this one works. It's got a magnet on the base, so you can just, drop it on your toolbox, whatnot. And it has that spring ring that keeps tension on the Allen keys. So whether you're using their Allens or another brand, you got your size identifiers, and that spring tension in there will keep them in place. And that magnetic base, you can place it anywhere on a metal surface. And then here you can actually see one of their aluminum organizers. And so I'm hoping to see these. Once I do see them released on Amazon, I'll let you guys know. But I think that is a pretty cool little organizer, and I think it's pretty affordable stuff for a couple items being made in the USA. So please let me know your guys' thoughts on this one. Next up is a product that I recommend if you're doing any sort of like battery relocation or installing any larger circuits into your vehicle. Like I installed a winch, an inverter, I did a battery relocation. I do stuff like that fairly often, and I'll use inline thermal resetting circuit breakers. And then I also have, on some of the larger stuff, like on my battery relocation, I have a circuit breaker like this, and then also on my inverter in the bed of my truck, I keep one of these, and you always want to keep this as close to the battery as possible. And these are really nice because you can get them in high amp ratings. This one's a 50 amp, but you can get them 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 150, and 200, and you can get them above that. I think I have a 250 for my battery relocation, if I remember correctly. And I've used these, I don't know, over the last 7 or 8 years, haven't had any issues or failures with them. Super easy to install. You got identifier over here, so the cable coming off your battery connects to this side, and then to whatever you're running your other cable to attaches to this side. And then if you push this button, that's going to open the circuit, so no power will be running through it. And then this arm basically slides out, and then to reset it, you just push that arm in. This one comes with a couple lugs, mounting washers and screws. It's a little bit of information, but these are very affordable in running those larger devices in your vehicle or on a boat or RV or camper or anything like that, and being as safe as possible about that. This is a good product for that. They're very easy. If you're already going to run large cables, it's very easy to just throw one of these in line and protect yourself in the long run. Just a great safety feature. There you can see one as it's connected and then disconnected. This one has 4.3 stars at 50 ratings, and you can get these from multiple different brands. And here you can get 2 of them for $20. It's also going to depend on the amp rating. This one's 130 amp over here for $27. Same overall design, different brand. Not saying that you have to go with this one if you're considering using something like this, but just having a circuit breaker like this in general can be a lifesaver or a property saver in some cases. So this one's at $17.09, down from a list price of $19, and definitely something to consider if you're doing any larger wiring. And then for any smaller wiring, they do have smaller thermal resetting circuit breakers. I also run those. You can run inline fuses. There's many things out there that you can do to protect yourself and your property from any faulty wiring or anything like that. Then last up is the Gearwrench 5-piece 3/8 drive 6-point magnetic swivel spark plug socket set. So this isn't a bad price for it. I think I've seen it down to the mid 40s, which is a really good price for this. It's got a list price of $128. Never buy it at $128. Never buy it over this $52. I doubt you'll ever see it at the $128. Having a magnetic spark plug socket set is absolutely amazing. I love them. I've had basically this exact same identical set, except the Matco one, which just includes one more non-swivel socket. I believe it's 9/16 if I remember correctly, which I got that one going to college with the Matco discount. I think I still paid probably $75-$80 for the set, which back then there weren't many other options out there. Now they're very popular. So if you don't want to spend the $52 on the Gearwrench one, this is just the one I basically have experience with, having the Matco one, which is identical to this, which I've had really good experiences with. I like the different length extensions, the different size options, cover all your spark plug sizes. They've held up very well. They work very well. Getting down to those recessed ones or working in awkward angles, it's got you covered. It's a great little setup. But nowadays, there are just so many options out there. Brands you've never heard of. That's not even a word, that's just a bunch of letters thrown together. 3/8 drive one for $36 with a coupon for 10% off. Here's another one I've never heard of, Lane Keen, for $45. When it comes to those prices, I'll just stick with the Gearwrench. They're not too much better, or at least that $45 one. But like Billy Tools has one. Here's a Work Pro one for $42. Here's a Gearwrench one that's a 3-piece for $52, so that's definitely not worth it. The Duratech for $35. Another one I can't pronounce for $32. Mixed Power has some. Castleman has some. Duratech. I mean, there are a lot of brands out there with them now. Eastwood, Aeroforce, never heard of them. You get the point. There's a lot of different swivel magnetic spark plug socket sets out there now. And so if you're not trying to spend $52, you will see this around the mid 40s every once in a while. And then if you're okay with going with a brand that you may not have heard of, or maybe you're not as comfortable with, spark plug sockets, if you're a DIY or weekend warrior, you can probably get by with, a cheaper set. So I may link down below just, a couple other cheaper brands, maybe Duratech, or at least a brand that I've heard of. Might not have experience with those magnetic spark plug sockets, but if you're not looking at spending $52 on magnetic spark plug sockets, but you're still interested in a set, I'll throw a couple options that I think are okay for maybe around the $30 or $35 price range down in the description with these. Hopefully that's helpful. This one has 4.7 stars at 1,605 ratings. And like I said, I just have the Matco version of this. It's the exact same. It includes one more socket, but they've been a game changer. I had always used your standard, rubber grommet spark plug sockets before. And not that I ever had any huge issues with them. The magnetic ones I just really enjoy over the standard ones. So that is it as far as this week's Amazon tool deals. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below of your guys' thoughts on some of these items. Keep in mind, all of these are linked down in the description with you guys, along with those 2 additional links. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.